I know I was absolutely terrified first meeting of Eamon's children because he absolutely adores them. It was very clear to me. And I thought, if they don't like me, this is going to be a real problem. How can you remember your first meeting and how you felt?
It is about liking. It has to be about liking for your relationship with the man involved. They already have a mother.
Yeah.
So they just have to like you. The
As a
mistake
person.
is, I think, when people try to become their mother because they've already got a mother.
Absolutely. And I think that's a very important word. You know, this isn't an umbilical cord relationship. You learn to love. I do love my stepdaughters, of course I do, but I learnt to love them. But first of all, we had to like each other. I like children, so I didn't try and pretend to be somebody I wasn't. I was just their friend. When we got married, I had a role in their life because I became their stepmother, not Daddy's girlfriend. And so that really changed the dynamic.
But the dynamic is also influenced by what mother thinks of all of this as well. Mothers in these relationships often don't take kindly.
There was a great piece of advice. Our friend Jane Moore always giving me good pieces of advice. And she said to me, she said, remember, children are blank pieces of computer software programmed by adults. And I think this is very true. And nobody poisoned those children. Nobody, in any direction. And so now I would like to think that they traverse between two happy households. I can't say, you know, everything was perfect. It wasn't utopia. There were things we had to navigate around, but it was very important. They weren't visitors in our home. It is their home. In fact, the first thing I did, and I know even their father and I are not together anymore, when I moved into my apartment, which I live in now, first thing I did was get 3 keys cut and they've each got one, and they come and go.
Well, I wanted to ask you to that because that must be another difficulty. So there you are, you've built this relationship, you're married for, was it 12, 15 years?
Yes,
and with these girls who have grown up, they're in their 20s now, and then you and Grant divorce. So were you worried that that would affect your relationship with them?
Awful, awful, awful. I think it probably hurt me in some ways. That hurt me the most because this is a relationship I'd worked on, we'd all worked on, and we love each other. And all of a sudden we could see this sort of, was this going to fracture? Was I going to lose the children? And I remember Claudia, very wise, I think she was 16 at the time, and she just looked at me and she just said, Anthea, she said, I can't remember a time when you weren't in my life. Why is anything ever going to change? And I think we were, all of us worried.
Take sides, or were they cross with him?
They were understanding. You know, they're adults now, so they were upset at what had happened. Of course they were. They were massively protective of me and really circled my wagon when I needed it. And now, because also I've shown them the way. Grant and I are not at loggerheads. We don't, you know, the arguments are all over. It doesn't matter now. We've all moved on. There's no way I want to put them through any more hassle. So I have a good relationship with my ex-husband because I still want to be there at their weddings and their engagement parties and every event in their family and birthdays. We all get together. We still do things as a family, and that's and I could have made that very difficult, not only for myself but also for them.
For that to happen, future weddings and all that sort of thing, have you then, should a stepmother form a relationship with the real mother, the natural mother?
I think it depends on the circumstances. You know, we all have a very good relationship, I feel. And, you know, children are quite canny. They, you know, I would always say the girls are a great product of everybody who's brought them up. And they're quite canny. They'll go to the adults who they think is going to help them to do it. I've just noticed, in fact, I was just looking at my phone and there's a picture from Claudia. I'm going to a party at the weekend. What am I going to wear? Have you got? There's a whole list of have you got, can I borrow?
So she knows to come to you for that.
No wonder they want
you. You know, it is a bit of a minefield, and you have to be very, very careful.
And it's something you're very proud of in your life, as
I
I
absolutely
said.
am. Proudest thing.
Right, so that's Anthea's take on those things. I just want, while we've got you here, you mentioned Grant.
Yes.
Next guest is James Whale, Celebrity Big Brother. Do you see a winner there, or what's your take on what you've seen so far?
I quite like to see Frankie winning. I don't know why, but I quite like him. He seems, you know, the least of the evils at the moment. I don't know how anybody can live in such a mess. I think it would kill me. You know, we were talking about it a moment ago, when they have a vacuum cleaner for 45 minutes.
Once a week.
Once a week! Can you imagine us with that? We'd be like people possessed.
I could get a lot done in 45 minutes. And how do you think Grant did?
I think he was unlucky to be out first, purely because of the way that game worked out at the top. But in actual fact, now I find out what was cut out as opposed to what went in. how do I say this? Maybe the fact he was out did him a favour. I'm not sure I've enjoyed this series for the reason I've always enjoyed. I'm a big fan of Celebrity Big Brother. I found this series has had a little bit of a nasty edge to it, which I personally haven't enjoyed like I did maybe last year when Darren Day was in it.
Fair assessment. Thank you. Got you 2 for the price of 1 now. You were a
have,
bog
yes.
off this morning.
For more of the same, just click here and don't forget you can subscribe for even more of these amazing videos exclusive to our channel. At what point did you think, no, this has gone beyond now?
Just when every single day he woke up and he had more and more and more arriving, like on his face, he would just have like them on top of each other. So I obviously then thought that night, this is not, his temperature was up to 41 degrees.
Look at him. He's dropped his teddy. Can someone pick his...
Sorry.
For us? No, it's all right.